Welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to learn how to factor a number. Today's learning target is I can find all the factors for a given number. Let's get started. All right, what is factoring a number? Well, to begin, factoring, let me move myself out of the way here. Factoring can be thought of as the opposite of multiplication. We can even call it unmultiplying. So what does that mean? Well, let's just take a look at multiplication. When we multiply, we take two numbers, let's say 1 and 6 in this example. We do 1 times 6 to get a product or an answer, like 6, right? Or, for example, 2 times 3 gets us 6. That's multiplication. Well, I'm not sure if you've ever heard this word before, but it's really important to learn now, okay? Because this is where the name factoring comes from. The numbers 1 and 6 that we multiply to get to 6, those are called factors. Any numbers you multiply to get an answer is a factor. The numbers 2 and 3 are factors of 6 because we multiply them together to get to 6. They're all factors. So when we factor a number like 6, we start with the answer, right? The product, 6, right? Here's 6. This is what we start with when we factor. And we list out all the numbers that multiply to get us that number, like 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. And I'm going to include some commas in here just to make our list neat. So 1, 2, 3, and 6 are factors of 6. All right, let's take a look at a couple examples now. All right, so on this slide, you see the number we're going to factor. We're going to factor the number 10. I've created a number list here to help keep our thinking organized. And we have a multiplication chart. We're going to have multiplication charts at our disposal to use anytime we need them as we learn to factor and for the next few lessons. All right, so we have to ask ourselves then, if we're going to factor the number 10, this question. And I want you to always start with this question. What numbers multiply to get to 10? And that's where this list comes in handy, because I want you to start at the beginning. Each time, keep your thinking organized, start with the number 1 and ask yourselves, does 1 multiply by something to get 10? And of course, 1 times 10 is 10. And so here, next to the number 10, I'm going to write those two factors. The number, 1 times 10. Now, and maybe you've noticed this pattern before, but 1 times any number will give you as an answer that same number. And so when you're factoring, 1 and that number you're factoring can be your first pair of factors every time. Okay, and I'll explain in a second why I'm separating them out so far and keeping so much space in between. I think you'll see in a second. All right, so let's go back now to our number list and ask ourselves with the next number. We did 1, now let's do 2. Does 2 times something get us 10? Well, we're really practiced in reflex math, so we know that the answer, of course, is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. But if we didn't, let's pretend we didn't know that. This is where the multiplication chart comes in. All right, you can go to 2 over here in the column. You go down to find a 10, and you can come out here and see that, oh yeah, 5 is the other factor. And of course, you could start here with 2 and go over to 10 and then up to 5 if you wanted to. Either way, I'm encouraging you to use a multiplication chart anytime you feel you need to. All right, so let's write those next two factors down. I'll choose a different color for clarity's sake. 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. All right. So let's keep going. Let's go to the 3. 3 times anything get us 10? I don't think so. So let's cross it off. 4 times anything get us 10? Nope. 6 times anything? 7? No, of course not. We know that nothing else multiplies to get us 10. So there we have it. I'm going to add commas to keep our list nice and neat. And I'd also like you to notice, I color-coded this for a reason. Check it out. Factors are always found in pairs, right? You have to multiply two numbers, a pair of numbers together to get the answer. They're called factor pairs. So for example, 1 and 10 are a factor pair. 2 and 5 are a factor pair. And now you can see the reason why I separated the 1 and the 10 in that list, because I knew I was going to put more factors in the middle. And this is a great way to stay organized. This little drawing here, this list of numbers with these lines above them, they actually have a name. And I bet by the look of that picture, you can maybe guess what that name is. It's called a factor rainbow. And we use this rainbow drawing to help us see and organize our factor pairs. So we put 1 and the biggest number on the outside, which is always the number itself, and then the other factors in the middle. So let's see how we can use the factor rainbow to keep our thinking organized with this next example. Let's go ahead and factor the number 18. You can see I still have the same similar number list with all 18 numbers. We've got the multiplication chart, the number 18. So let's start at the beginning. Okay, let's start with number 1. Does 1 times anything get us 18? Well, of course it does. 1 times 18. Absolutely. So I'm going to circle 1, circle 18. There we go. We're off to a fine start. Let's go to the next number, 2. Does 2 times anything get us 18? And again, thank you, Reflex Math. And if you don't know, you can use your chart. But yes, 2 times, there's 18, times 9 gets us 18. So in a different color to stay organized, I'm going to go with 2 and 9. All right, 2 times 9. Oh, wow, that's a huge jump between 18 and 9. All right, let's keep going. How about the next number, the number 3? Does 3 times anything get us 18? Well, thank you, Reflex Math. Yeah, 3 times 6 is 18. If we didn't know, we could come up here to our factor multiplication chart and find the 18 and go over to 6. There we go. So let's see here. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 and 6. Let's go to the next number. 4? No, 4 times nothing is 18. If we look down here, over here at 4, come all the way down the list, we'll never see an 18. So we can cross that number off. How about 5? No 5. 5 times nothing. 7 times nothing. Now 8. I don't know. Maybe 8? Well, we can always go over here to our multiplication chart. If you're never sure of a number, if you aren't sure of a number, you can go to that number you're not sure of, that factor, and look for that product. The number 18 in this case, I don't see it anywhere. So 8 is not. And then, of course, we've already used 9. So that means none of the numbers larger than 9 can be factors, right, of 18. Can't multiply any of them. We've already used the biggest number, 9. So here we have our final factor list, and we can use a rainbow to keep them organized. 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and 3 and 6. Gosh, that looks even more like a rainbow, doesn't it? So we have 1. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors. 18 has 6 factors. Isn't that amazing? Okay, let's do another one. Now this one's a little bit different. We're going to factor the number 9 now. Okay, same tools at our disposal. Let's start at the beginning. 1 times what gets us 9? Well, the answer, of course, is 1 times 9. 1 times itself gets us 9. All right, so we've used 1 and 9. Let's go to the next number, 2. 2 times what gets us to 9? Well, nothing. 9's an odd number, so 2 times nothing gets us 9. We can check here. You're never going to see 9. Yeah, it would be right there between 8 and 10. It's not. So we can cross out the 2. Cross out the 2. How about 3, the next number in our list? 3 times something get us 9? Well, yes. Check it out. 3, there's a 9, times 3. It's a square number. 3 times 3 is 9. All right, so, 3 times 3. 3 times 3. 3 times 3. Is that 1 factor or 2 factors? Do I write 3 twice? Or do I write it only once? Is it just 1 factor that I'm using 2 times? Well, the correct answer is this, right here. 3 is just 1 factor that we used 2 times. So we can circle 3. It's definitely a factor of 9, but you only write it once. And then we'll go to our next number, 4. 4 times anything is 9. Nope. 5 times nope. 6 times nothing, nope. 7, 8, nope. None of them multiply to get to 9. So 1, 3, and 9, that's our entire factor list. So let's go ahead and make our commas, and 1 times 9. And here's how we do a square number. When it's 3, we're going to use it twice. We actually put a little part of a rainbow over it, like that. 3 times 3. That tells us that we have to use 3 twice. So anytime you have a square number or a number where one of the factors multiplies by itself, like 3 times 3, we just write it one time in the factor list. Here's another example. 25. Oop, let me move myself out of the way again. Let me move myself here. Okay, so 25. It's a big number, right? It's a huge, long number list here, but really there's very few factors of 25. Let's start at the beginning. 1. 1 times anything get us 25? Of course. 1 and 25. So we can circle 1, circle 25. 2 times anything get us 25? 2 times, no. You can check here in the list, but you're not going to see 25 pop up as a product. So and cross it off. 3 times anything is 25? Nope. 4 times anything is 25? Nope. 5 times anything is 25. Is it? Well, it is, isn't it? Just like in the last problem, 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 5. Here it is on the multiplication chart. 5 times 5. So we only write it once, the 5. The 5. And that's it. No other numbers multiply. We could cross off all of these other numbers here. Let's do it all in one fell swoop. Nothing else is going to get us to 25 there. None of them are factors. So here's our entire list, 1, 5, and 25. Let's go ahead and put commas between them and make a factor rainbow to keep ourselves organized. 1 times 25 and 5 times 5. Factoring numbers. It is when you're given the product, you're given the number, the answer, and you're going to find all the numbers that multiply to get to that number. It's called factoring because all of these numbers are called factors. Okay, here's our learning target. I can find all the factors for a given number. And you're going to use your multiplication chart and you're going to use a factor rainbow to keep your list of factors organized. Okay? And you're going to have some practice with that right now. So let's get to it.